Hey, hello everyone. Hello Arno, what's up?
Hey, Jerem. Uh, it's a bit the rush this morning, but
Really?
we're here. Yeah,
Yes, same for me. But we
but
are
I'm happy
here.
to be here.
Likewise, I'm very happy to be here again, like every Wednesday on live on X, on YouTube, and on Twitch to speak about multiverses and blockchain in general. Thank you for all that joined us already. And welcome to GM Web3 special edition for MultiversX. Yeah, so I see that some of you guys don't speak English. So yeah, feel free to watch it again on replay with the subtitles. Can be easier for you. Um, so first of all, and this is very important for us, don't forget to retweet the space link. I saw that some of you already did it. To put a like, and also to subscribe to our different channels. So on YouTube, on Twitch, and of course on Twitter, you can follow us, GRM Web3 and Arno Web3. We have the almost the same handle. And yeah, feel free also to interact on the comment section and on the chat. We will try to ask your questions to our guests and to answer to you if you have any opinion to share. Um, Today, and like every Wednesday, I am with my co-host Arno, BizDev manager at Hatam and Soul. Arno, how are you?
Good, good. My coffee is almost ready. Sun is shining.
Yeah, it's sunny. It's sunny today, and
I,
yeah,
I
I
can't say. I mean, with your pool behind you, you never know.
let me dream a little. um, so today, first we will have the crypto price review to speak about different topics that happened this last week. And after we will receive Stefan Michael, that you may know as the economistic, and we'll speak about his whole journey on multiversics between love and hate, but also about his projects in
Your
music.
American twin, as I call him.
Really, you do?
He's your brother.
Yeah. Okay. I never said makes to one, but we'll speak about it. And after we will receive Dan Hugh, who is the founder and CTO of Radix, a blockchain dedicated to DeFi. And it will be interesting to um, compare the different vision between layer ones, between the generalist one and the specialized one. We'll speak about DeFi, community, and so on. So can't wait to have this discussion with him. He's brilliant. Um, so first, I would like to thank the main sponsor of GM Web3 MultiversX for a month now. It's Hatem. Arno, you know them very well. It's the MultiversX leading lending, borrowing, and liquid staking platform in the ecosystem, and they are offering $25 in their token, the HTM. And to take part of this giveaway, you just need to quote tweet the space link and say what you think about GM Web3 MultiversX. Please say good. It's better, and I will share the link of their website if you want to get some yield with your cryptocurrencies on MultiversX, but not only because they already integrated Tau. Um, so it can be interesting for you if you're invested in this ecosystem. Correct, Arno?
Everything you say is correct. Oh, beautiful guru.
No, I just want to be sure I'm not saying bullshit since I'm not the DeFi guy, but I'm trying to do my best. Um, so let's start with the crypto press review. Yeah, it will be a little different than Before, I will not ask you if you care, if you don't. I will like give some interesting news, but I will ask you questions around the news, and so it will be interesting to have your opinion, maybe to challenge together, and maybe also with Stefan, who decided to join us already, and me, and this and the viewers also. So feel free to react and to give us your opinion about the topics that I will speak about. Okay, so Stefan will come back. So let's start with the first one. Yeah, Buenos Aires launches blockchain-based ID system with ZK Sync. So they introduced a pioneering digital identity service using blockchain technology in partnership with the blockchain ZK Sync. And this decentralized system launched by the city's government enables residents to store and share their personal identification details securely through blockchain. So, my question to open this discussion is: do you think in the long term our identity will necessarily pass through blockchain?
Yes. I mean, I'm bullish on tokenizing everything. It is a better way to have the information flow. It is a safer way to have the information flow. It is a more efficient way to have the information flow, cheapest, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, 100%. Everything will be tokenized.
Yeah, definitely. We have some initiatives in this regards in France. My ID, for example, but there are many more that wants to put our identity on the blockchain. So for now, our identity is already numerized. I don't know if we can say this. Numérisé, numérique, numerized, well,
Yeah,
digital. Let's say
digitalized, digitized.
digitalized. Since I don't know if you know, but on the passport you have an NFC thing. So I didn't know. I discovered this just a few weeks ago. There is something digital on the passport.
Yeah.
So if you touch the passport with your phone, for example, it can be a connection between. I didn't know. I thought like a passport was paper, but no, it's already digital. But it's centralized, and so if there is any problem with the server or with any outside attacks or so on, it can be, of course, hurtful for the whole system. So blockchain can prevent from this kind of attacks, and yeah. So Buenos
But
Aires.
tomorrow, if we follow what's happening with money, the fact that now people can store their own money and it's not the responsibility, of a centralized entity anymore. This is a big cultural shift, but tomorrow, because of decentralized public ledgers, we could allow people to store their own identity because we could prove that this identity has been emitted by a public entity that everyone trusts. But the way you store it, it's up to you. But I mean, this is a big shift, big cultural shift. This is your and my kids. They're going to do this.
Mm-hmm. I
Our
know. I
parents are
see
not
this.
going to do it.
I'm sure we can. We are. How old are you?
I'm
33, 4?
35.
Oh, 35. So we are almost the same age. So I think we can see it. You know what? This kind of innovation will be mainstream in maybe 20 years. So we'll be there. And we will build things like this. Stefan, hi. And it's interesting that they choose the layer 2 ZK Sync, since it's zero knowledge proof technology. So it's interesting, and it's not the most famous blockchain ever. So it's pretty bullish about the role of technology when the industries has to choose a technology and a blockchain to release the functionality or a service. So I like this.
On this topic, I saw that last year, Brazil was doing a pilot and maybe more than a pilot. I don't recall. I have to find it, but regarding the emission of passport, because they actually have a massive fraud problem with their passport. So in France, we have a central entity emitting the passports. In Brazil, the passport emission is handled regionally, and apparently, it's a big mess because there's corruption, and so they are trying a pilot through blockchain to have a system that would, you know, make sure that there's no
Mhm.
fraud and no false identities emitted, false papers, etc., etc. So it's, as you said, it's interesting to see the role of technology and the impact that blockchain technology in this instance has because of its ability to create trustless environments. And that's brilliant. It is one of the core things that is amazing with blockchain is the capacity, if built correctly, to remove trust.
Mm,
That's brilliant.
definitely. Okay. Second thing will be about GameFi. I can see that these days, many people are talking about the game of the grid. It's a game which
OTG.
is OTG, yeah.
OTG.
It's built on Avalanche, and it's a new blockchain-based game that gaining significant attention through streaming on Twitch with the support of many big influencers and so on. And they are currently in early access with plans to launch on the Avalanche blockchain subnet. And they plan to launch their utility token, the Guns, and they want to hide the complexity of blockchain with wallet abstraction and also the compatibility with the PS5 and Xbox. They raised $82 million to build this, and it's Gunzilla Games. They want to merge GameFi with mainstream gaming. So, huge topic. My question, of course, if you want to say anything about the game, since I'm not like a specialist about that, I can't say more. I haven't tried it and so forth. But my question is, do you think GameFi will become fashionable, trendy again? And what would it take to make it happen for the next weeks and months? Uh, just to precise, it was trendy in 2020, 2021 with the sandbox, decentralized, and so on, with the whole metaverse narrative. And it became cringe because of many things, like they were attracting more investors and farmers than real players. So the big challenge for the video games editors was to upgrade this. So do you think it's more mature now? And yeah, what's your take on this?
I think you said it almost, all. What killed this narrative, if we can call it that way, was the fact that we were not talking about games anymore. It was not about fun anymore. And I remember we had some conversations about games. Joachim, who's often with us, is also very knowledgeable on the topic. I was interested in OTG because when I saw the first videos, first of all, within the gaming ecosystem, the gaming industry, they took what has been the last big leap in gaming since Fortnite with battle royale games, but they've added two things on top. First, it is an extraction battle royale, and secondly, the gameplay is it merges some styles that like a game that was Titanfall. I don't know if you know Titanfall. It's a first player
Oh
shooter
yes, I
that
saw it on PlayStation 5 on my store, but I never played with it.
yeah. So Titanfall was a game that was a AAA game, and it didn't have a success immediately, but its campaign didn't have success, but its multiplayer game, like developed itself a few years after the launch because it had a gameplay that was super nervous. You could glide on the walls, and OTG takes the best of Titanfall in terms of gameplay and mixes it with many things, and so they managed to carve themselves a player base within this niche of very big niche of battle royale, because you have so many competitors. So this is already interesting. It means the game is interesting. They have gamers. Then, to your point with GameFi and blockchain technology and merging all this, I think it's very similar to the adoption of blockchain as a whole, and as it's embedding blockchain for what it's great for in powerful user-friendly apps or dApps or games or whatever. And I think that OTG is a very good example of this, because I deep dived into how they want to use blockchain technology, especially in the in-game economics. And so there is going to be a system where you can, you enter, it's a battle royale, you're in teams, and you have to extract material. You have some very rare material that if you extract them, you can open um, uh, loot boxes, you can craft, if I'm not mistaken. But the game itself, the editor, is never going to sell a thing. And that's interesting. The only way you can get stuff is through playing the game, extracting, or buying from other players. But everything is created in the game, and I think that's brilliant. And so they're going to put everything on chain. So most likely, and this is a challenge when you have a game and you need multiple transactions while you're playing. That's horrible. So the if you manage to find a way to play and have only a few transactions, so you can play freely, and then what you extract needs a transaction, and then what you do outside of the gaming area is on chain. That's a very smart move. So yeah, bullish on this, because it shows that abstracting the technology is the right thing to do, and it shows that when you do merge impressive game, impressive use cases with blockchain in a nice way, you can have millions of users because they have millions of players.
It's interesting, and yeah, on all the descriptions of the game on the different platforms, you can't see the notion of blockchain or NFTs and so on. So I like it, and I think it's the path for a mass adoption. So yeah, okay, let's see. It will be interesting maybe to try to invite one member of this of the game for an upcoming Twitter space. Can be very very interesting. I'll do my best to invite one of them. Next topic. I'd like to have your take on meme coin. You, yeah, I know, but it's interesting since Pump Fun, the launcher, the meme coin launcher on Solana, and they want to launch their token. So it's a big news for meme coin farmers, and they want to innovate the ICOs with gamification, and yeah, they want to make the ICO more accessible and enjoyable. So maybe by using the airdrops mechanisms, but also the gamification. But through this news, maybe there is nothing to say more about that. What's your opinion about meme coin, which have been the main narrative this last maybe between 6 months and 1 year on blockchain in terms of activities, in terms of engagement? So, what do you think about them? Are they valuable? Are they completely nonsense? Or are they just necessary thing.
Evil, necessary
Evil.
evil.
Yeah.
So blockchain brings something amazing, like a superpower that we don't talk about actually. Blockchain allows you and me and anybody here to transform itself into a central bank. Because if so on MultiversX, if you want to create the GRM coin, it takes less than 5 minutes. You
Do
go
it.
20 years ago, how could you create money? Like how could you create your currency? Now, thanks to blockchain, we disrupt this, but people don't wrap their heads around this power. It's insane. We
Just,
have yeah.
are you sure we can call it currency or just a digital assets?
I mean, the GRM
Because
coin, if you and I, we build a trust system on which, okay, we trade with this, and then we manage to convince a few of our friends to do so. It is a currency. I mean, who is to say it's a currency and it's not a currency?
no, I mean, being a currency is not just related to the fact that you can trade an asset. You know what I mean? I mean, for example, um, um, everything that is tradable is not necessarily a currency. Currency means you can buy things with,
Yeah,
means
so you can trade.
you can store a value. So you know what I mean? The definition of currency is not just
Currency,
an
I
asset
mean,
that is tradable on the market.
okay, then 80% of the currency in the world fail to match your criteria. I mean, the Argentinian peso is not a currency anymore then, because it fails to be a store of value. What I mean is that thousands of years ago, we were doing barter. So people were exchanging wheat for salt, apples for carrots, and then we had to move on and find a common currency. So it started with salt, it started with wheat because everybody wanted those, and then it moved into precious metals, etc., etc. Fast forward to now, in the modern era, we have central entities capable of creating the currencies we use every day to exchange, trade, whatever. But blockchain is
But I really
disrupting this.
disagree about the definition of currency. I mean, it's an asset. It's a way to create value from nothing. Okay, but I don't agree with the terms of currency. Really, about meme coins. You know, meme coins. I think nobody will ever use it to buy things. You know, it's way
Oh
too
yeah, well
volatile.
you can go buy your Tesla with Dogecoin. So what is it? I
Okay.
like your silence.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, but I mean, so where is the frontier between a currency and a digital token? That we can use as such. I mean, when you think about it, we all use certain currencies, euro, dollars, etc., because there's trust in this and them, and they're enforced by powerful entities. But I mean, sometimes we exchange in egld, you and I. It's like sometimes you buy me a drink and you say you can repay me in egld. I mean, egld is it's something that didn't exist 10 years ago. Now it exists, and apparently we trust it enough so that you pay me something in euros, and I repay you in egld. So back to meme coins, and I think this is why blockchain technology through cryptocurrencies has bad press. It's because we are in a state where Some people have discovered the power, the almighty power of blockchain, capable of creating currencies, cryptocurrencies, meme coins. And it's like, you give the nuclear power or Superman's power to a 5-year-old kid, and the 5-year-old kid is just going nuts, using his lasers everywhere, flying, blah. And this is what meme coin is doing to the industry. So I understand why they exist. They exist because we have the power to create them. We have the power, and they're extraordinary, volatile, and speculative uh, type of asset. But I believe that what we're doing with this power is just a mess, because it is actually bringing bad opinion on the blockchain technology because of this, because now it's a degen casino, and this is one of the most things that comes out and goes to mainstream, whereas you could be doing so much more. So I recall in Adam Bates' talk with DB, he said cryptocurrencies are what, like the worst nightmare, or the worst
that
thing
happened to
to ever.
blockchain.
Yes, exactly. And I kind of understand, in a way they attract eyes, but I don't know if they really pushing the adoption, or are they actually slowing down the adoption that we would like to have.
Yeah, I would say that I think we say nature abhors a vacuum, and so I think meme coins was there because this last month and maybe 1 year we were on a full infrastructure narrative. Everybody was talking about A1, L2, L3, and so on. And I think it was not accessible to everyone. And so, because there were no NFTs, there were no consumer apps, there were no real utility with blockchain and so on, I think we needed, when I say we, I'm not a meme coin farmer, user, investor, but when I say we, I'm talking about the crypto community needed something to do, and so
But who is we? I mean, when I hear you saying we and talking about not much was happening and we were on an infrastructure, I mean, we is short-term investors who want to make money. I mean, artificial intelligence companies have been working for the last 15 to 20 years for some. And the first products, the mainstream products, only came out like in the last 2 years. So the first 15 years, 20 years, those companies have been working. They were nobody was saying, oh, you're building infrastructure. How can we change the narrative, whatever. This is just because blockchain has the capacity through tokenization to create assets that can be traded. And this is amazing, but this has also completely transformed the space into a space that is very short-sighted, in my opinion, looking for short-term gains, and forgetting about what we're actually trying to accomplish as an industry. And I'm saying we because I put myself in the builder's shoes now.
okay.
Hey, Stefan.
What's up? What's up?
Yay.
Hey, Stefan.
Hello,
Thank you very
GRM.
much.
Hello, Arno.
Thank you very much, Arno, for this interesting point of view. It was very interesting. Before we move to the first guest of today, I would like to say a big thank you to our sponsor of this show, the second one. It's Inspire. Inspire is a loyalty DApp that allows users to benefit from discount and advantages in a lot of physical and online stores in Romania. To start, they are already working with IKEA, Carrefour, and many others. And yeah, they wanted to support us, and thank you very much to them. And they are offering $25 in USDC this morning. So I will send you the link if you want to know more about it. And to be eligible to this, you just need to quote tweet the link of the X Spaces, and I will make the draw at the end of the show. So let's welcome Stefan. How are you, Stefan? It's your first time on GM Web3. It's been a while that we know each other on MultiversX, and it's a pleasure to have you this morning. Thank you for accepting the invitation. First of all, how are you?
Oh man, yeah, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm doing great. It's a little bit early here. The clock literally just ticked to 1:30 a.m., but I think it's all a mental game. I feel like I stay up till 2 and 3 in the morning in the first place, but tonight I have something going on. It's like, dude, I'm so sleepy. Like, oh, frick. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on the show. Great to be here.
You chose to involve yourself in a European blockchain, so you need to adapt with the local time.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I would maybe start by trying to know you more, because I'm sure most of the community don't know you really. They know what you write, they know what you think, they know what you invest in. Now they know that you're doing music. We'll speak about it later, but I think they don't know you. So can you briefly tell us about you, your age, where you live, maybe also about, I don't know, the studies that you do, or maybe the jobs that you do. So can you just briefly tell us who you are and what's your background so far?
Yeah, lots to dig in there. So I'll just answer kind of questions along the way, and I'll leave time to pause and have you ask questions that I may have missed, because I could probably fill up the whole hour just responding to that question, and I want to make sure we get to the topics and such. But yeah, my name is Steven. I grew up in Kansas. A lot of people don't know that. That's a fun fact about me. And I'm 28 years old. I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area after I graduated college. I have my major in personal financial planning with a minor in business and some other things. But yeah, I mean, you said that people know what I think. They know what I write on X, and what I write on X is a mystery to me. You know, these things aren't planned. I'm not a true content creator from the standpoint of I could be scheduling what content I'm putting out there. I could be planning ahead. You know, I can literally schedule my entire timeline to be addressing the European or time zone, I should say, not demographic. But yeah,
but we'll speak about your different opinion on X. It will be interesting to see the evolution of it. But just before, just to try to know you more, what did you study? Where did you work? In which industry? What's your background? Just in a few seconds to know more where you come from and where you're speaking from.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, I'm a pretty regular dude. Born and raised in Kansas City suburbs. Like my background, like the first
So
official
in the
job.
US, Steven, sorry to interrupt you, because
You're good.
where is Kansas in the States?
It's smack dab right in the middle. Like
Okay.
it's technically the Midwest, but it's really just like the plains, Plains, which is like vast expanses of like grass, like rolling hills. Like it's beautiful out there, but like it's the definition of kind of flyover. A lot of these cities in the United States, you go into any rural area and it's going to shift from hard blue liberal to red and more conservative. So Kansas, Dorothy, the Wizard of Oz, some popular references. But my first job was at McDonald's. But before that, I was creating jobs for myself, literally just the classic mowing lawns, shoveling snow. I literally made a lemonade stand one time and put up on the side of the road and made some money there. But no, I mean, gosh, there's so much that I could respond to. But yeah,
So where do you live now?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay.
Yeah.
So you moved west.
Yeah, pretty much. How I got there, this is some fun information. I took a road trip in my car after I graduated at college and found a job and a place to live in Berkeley, California. Within about 30 to 45 minutes, I had found a job and a place to live, called up my parents and said, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm moving to California," and just went back to Kansas, packed everything into my car. Give or take like 10 days later, I was back working. I was hired to open a ramen restaurant, believe it or not.
What?
So, see, that's the thing. Like, I went to school, I got my degree, and by the time I got my degree, I was just a bit burnt out of the system, and I felt like getting out, and there was no plan to move to California. It happened.
So we have a timeline. When was that compared to today? Like, was it 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago?
That's a good question. So it's 2024. We're shooting this in October 2024.
Yeah.
This is 5 years ago.
Okay.
5 years ago, I was like 3 months into moving from Kansas to California. Just out here.
Your story is brilliant because it's something that is not possible in most European countries. Like finding a job and a place to live in a like this, impossible. There's so much paperwork for us.
Oh yeah, well there was kind of paperwork, but I mean, I don't know. We do live in two very different regulatory standpoints. I have no idea what it takes for you guys to like get jobs.
Because it's easier to fire someone in the United States. In France, this is so complicated to fire someone. Yeah, so it's also difficult to hire someone at the same face of a coin. Thank you for this background. First of all, when and how did you first learn about cryptocurrency, blockchain, Web3? What was your what was the door you opened to that world?
I would say it was a friend of mine who told me about, he read something about internet currency through Reddit and pretty much downloaded Coinbase in a Chipotle, which is, do you guys have Chipotle? This is 2017. Okay. So this is summer of 2017.
During the bull run?
Sorry, let me be clear. To contextualize, the bull run had begun, but it's, we didn't know it until it's in hindsight, right? So like looking back on it, like, yeah, the bull run had begun, but the euphoria and total pop off of that 2017 bull run had not quite, like, the blow off top hadn't happened yet. This was late summer and things really started ramping up towards, November into December before it, the first week of 2018 was just like complete hopium. Like, oh no, this is just the last correction before it goes again. And it was like, nah, it's just So that's go ahead, Arnold.
What were the first asset that you bought on Coinbase?
Oh, that's a good question. I just skipped over that story. Well, I think I did buy some Bitcoin first, but then I was like, what about like this Litecoin? Like, that seems cool. But the thing is, after I did that, I felt deeply and internally like I literally just got scammed. I just bought some random money on the internet. My money is completely gone. Like, it took me, trial and error and kind of like playing with it all, truthfully, to be like, oh, well, like, okay, I did just give my money in exchange for this thing, but there's it's being traded. Like, there are buyers, there is demand, like there's a market here, but I was studying this in school, and I think this was even maybe a cut before I really started to get into those studies. But to answer your question, Arno, Bitcoin and Litecoin, and I probably bought some Ethereum, but those were the big three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's same on my end. Same. It was Coinbase, my first, and at the same time in 2017, I started with. I actually didn't buy Bitcoin, and then I bought Litecoin and Ether.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, the feeling inside, like, what am I doing? Like this thing is going up. I was talking to my friends. They were like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
For sure, dude. When did you get in? And GRM, if you're having the chance, I'm curious whenever you got started as well.
Yeah. So we are in 2017, and after what happened,
You just ignored your question.
Oh, maybe I did not hear it. Can you?
When did you get in,
Sorry, I
GRM?
was right. Oh, first.
Arno, why don't you?
Sorry, I was writing something at the same time. My bad. Yeah, my first time. Yeah, it was 2017, but not as an investor, but as a founder. So I did not buy any cryptocurrency before 2018. So I was a bit late, and it was Bitcoin because I was so focused on the company I was building, and we were trying to make Bitcoin mainstream on retail. Anyway, and so, but the biggest bag I bought was in 2020. And there I bought a lot of cryptos like egld, Luna, Ethereum, and many more. And yeah, I made some good profit at this moment, and I spent all of them in NFTs just after. We'll speak about it.
Hey,
Stefan.
you and me both.
Steven knows a bit about this too.
Yo, but you know what? You can't put a price tag on like spending like Eagle like that, like in the middle of X Day 1. Like, dude, I couldn't say no to buying some of those NFTs.
Wow. You were. I mean, yeah. This.
I just don't want to spoil, but of course we'll speak about the NFT journey. But first, so we are in 2017. So what happened between 2017 and maybe 2020? When you first maybe heard about MultiversX around at that time. So what happened during this time? You lost a lot of money, you said. And did you buy again during the bear market between 2018 and 2020, we can say?
Yeah.
Or did you involve in any project? Did you get some researches? I don't know. What have you been doing during this time?
Yeah, dude. So I moved to San Francisco, and I've just been like smoking crack with all the homeless people. It's been hella fun.
Disclaimer: drug is bad.
Just kidding. I don't know. I might get you banned on Twitch. You can ask me about San Francisco some other time. No. So like, there's a concept in financial planning. Look it up. It's called an emergency fund. And basically, this is a catch-all fund of money that is basically like metaphor for like anybody to like adjust as they please. An emergency fund. It has a lot to do with like, are you an independent? Do you have other people depending on you financially? Like if you lost your job and all your resources and shit hit the fan like crazy, like how much cash do you have in your emergency fund to support you for the next 6 to 12 to even like people have, it's like, to me, the emergency fund was just like your catch-all idea of your investment portfolio. Like, fuck it, like we're all screwed, but like I'm gonna put my money in this place and like see how, like if I can build an emergency fund for myself. And like that is the pinnacle of my investment decisions, is like, dude, like my emergency fund is a savings, but I invested it in a highly speculative asset beginning in 2017, I experienced the tail end of the 2017 bull run enough to see my portfolio grow beyond I ever would have believed to have seen. It's all completely paper, right? Because we can't get into a lesson right now about how, like, yeah, like, even if I had a paper value of like $10,000, if there's no liquidity, if there's no buyer on the other side of that $10,000 of whatever token, or if it's a DEX, a decentralized exchange, and the liquidity pool is $12, but you have 10,000, like, some people just don't do the math. And they're like, why is this slippage this way? It's like, dude, like, the money literally actually has to come from somewhere. But anyway, so on paper, I was just like, dude, I knew that, like, so like I didn't cash out anything at the top of the 2017 bull run, but my
So you
portfolio.
accumulated. You
Sorry.
kept accumulating during this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm
You
getting
kept buying.
distracted.
Mm.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, so I did want to share about the emergency fund piece because, yeah, like, I just have been saving my money in my emergency fund for ever since, for 5 years. And during that time, I worked internships. I had side gigs. I'm a photographer and videographer. Done a lot of work there, and just kind of finding odd jobs here and there. Like, I've literally done modeling. Like, I got paid $150 for taking a public like, I took a poop in a public place. Can't say much about it, and friends bet me $150. So it's just like, I'm not trying to say that I'm making money in the best ways, but I think that it's just the story of how I've made money and where I've saved it is like comical. So I learned about the value of Bitcoin and the abstract of the Bitcoin white paper. And I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Plus, like, the banking system, just like, if it ever all failed, like, I don't want to be like, oh fuck, like, my money's gone. Like, that Bank of America bank statement, like, I actually need that cash because, like, shit hit the fan. I don't know, just like, it's insurance against centralized banks
Mm.
is a way that I have also seen value in it. So I can
Okay.
send, yeah. I'm getting sidetracked, but correct me if I.
No, it's interesting. Let's move on to MultiversX. How it was around at that time?
Yeah,
How and why? How, and why did you learn about this Romanian blockchain?
yeah,
And yeah, it was in 2019, 2020. When was
yeah,
it?
yeah. 2019, and you asked this question a while ago, so thanks for bringing it back around. Yeah, dude. I actually was just active as well. I was buying. I had a portfolio of 20, random kind of cryptocurrencies, eventually all through 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. And at this time, I'm employed. I'm working jobs. I had a sales position at Tesla, etc. And basically, what I think stood out to me about finding Elrond at the time in late 2019, I found it through the Wolf of All Streets, Scott Melker, just tweeting out coins here and there. And I just saw that one. And at the time, I was studying technical analysis, which has something to be talked about, the idea of technical analysis. But that for me was something that, like, kept me at least low-key interested in the markets whenever they were just going down. Was like, all right, like, why the fuck is this happening? Just like, we deeply concerned because it's just like, dude, like, my retirement portfolio is gone now. Like, what's going on? So yeah, I lost everything, and I bought that bear market from top to bottom. I was putting money in it as the market went down. I did the same exact thing in whichever the next one was. I can't even think about it. Bottom was 2019. Yeah, from the bottom of Bitcoin at around 3,200 in 2019 up to, I can't. It's been a while since I've kind of like looked at this stuff and thought about it. But
But
what
what did
stood
you
out?
like in
Yeah,
MultiversX during this
because
interview? What was the most important thing that attracted you?
yeah, it was their communications, believe it or not. And like this is like a pivotal piece, because I think the flaws that I have made with the content and the things that I posted on the internet over the years, I opened myself up and I over communicated. And when everything is all good and Elrond was doing great and there's no talk of necessarily rebrands or anything like that, you know, Myar Exchange is launching, like everything was all good. But what attracted me from the start was the team was right there. They were on the internet. Like Benjamin Minku, the CEO, was there, and that is one of the utmost key indicators for me that stood out at that time that I found Elrond network. There was just complete garbage everywhere. It was a complete disgusting shit storm of like grossness. So absolutely, Benjamin Minku and their communication, their at the time, like it was just so much lower stakes. Like everybody who was in it at those times knew that these were all experiments, and we already have seen our portfolios fall from a lot to very little. We've been stretched thin. We've had to be creative about how we're saving and spending our money. So from a standpoint of finding Benjamin Minku, the CEO of Elrond Network, tweeting honestly, transparently, openly about just his thoughts, the progress of this thing, finding the community online, like finding some people in it, and they're not just bots. Like, I'll say that again, they're not just bots. Like, and so think about it. I'm sorry. Are you raising your hand, Arno?
Yeah, because we have many
No, no,
questions now.
no, but
So it will be necessary to make shorter answers if you want to
Go ahead.
deep
Yeah.
dive on everything. Go ahead, Arno.
Those are interesting topics, you know. For people who haven't been there in 2020, 2021, they can't understand. So the state of the market at that point, you had way few blockchains, way few layer ones. There were no, you know, like the competition around layer twos, etc. We were still in the narrative of scaling Ethereum through ETH 2.0. This was sharding. That was the big thing back then. And so the sexy blockchains were Ethereum, Cosmos, Cardano, Polkadot, Avalanche was the beginning. And so you had Avalanche, Solana, Elrond. Those were the ones that were the second wave. And to understand what Stephen means by the team was different is that you had only engineers as founders of those blockchains, and they were all talking about personal problems that those problems were very hard for normies to understand. And then you had Benjamin Minku coming out talking about the end user in a very direct way, and how blockchain could enable things for the end user. And it was very, very
next
refreshing.
billion user.
Right,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, dude, where did all these beautiful catchphrases go? Like onboarding the next billion, like new catchphrases.
Everybody's using them now. Everybody's using them now. That's also the thing.
We'll come into it, Stephen. Don't worry. But it's an interesting thing. My next question is, why did you decide to involve in MultiversX on the socials and so on, and not just invest? So what was the thing that makes you say, okay, I have a say about that, and I want to involve myself publicly on this ecosystem? And did you involve in other ecosystem before, or it was the first time for you?
I didn't quite understand that last bit, but the first thing really was how I began writing on Twitter at the time. You know, that was really just about being a part of the community, being a part of like an encouraging, positive voice of, hey, like I'm out here doing this thing too, so like so can you. And it was just like almost like cheerleader for sure. And I would post charts. But the thing is that because of what I studied in school, being personal financial planning, like deep down, what I want, I would love to be client facing, helping people in some sort of role. I quit working for Tesla because while I enjoyed selling their cars when it was suitable, it was a suitable solution for them. Like, it was just like I was just making somebody else rich. And there's a lot I could say about that, but I saw Twitter, X, now we know it as a just a place to write and to interact with myself, was actually like a hilarious thing that I enjoyed at the start. Like, I can reply to myself, I can quote tweet myself, like I can literally be fucking crazy on Twitter, you know, like, but like for good or for bad. And it's been a journey for myself learning the power of a tool such that X is, it has a lot of power. And yeah, what can I say?
It's funny because you used to make Elon Musk rich at Tesla, and now you're making him rich on X. Actually,
I don't know. Am I doing something that is putting
just kidding,
as
but
a
you know what I
user?
mean.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you mean, man. But I see what you mean.
This
I
is
got it. I
so
got it.
true.
I got
Are
it.
you going to move to channeling now? To the boring company?
No way. No way. But point is, yeah, I wanted to be client facing, helping people. I still want to do that. But to this day, still figuring out how to do that. I love teaching people. I love being a part of the learning process for others. And I became overly invested emotionally in the community, in the progress of Elrond Network into MultiversX. And I was also, impossibly like over invested, you could say. I mean, I had an investment goal when I started my emergency fund. What's up, Arno?
No, I'm signaling
Go
that
ahead,
after you
Arno.
finish, I will ask you a question.
Oh, okay. That's a French thing.
Yeah, in school, asking a question, you have to raise your hand. So since
Understood.
we're not doing this on X anymore, where we could raise the hands, that's what we were doing, on GM Web3, very polite, very. So now I'm doing it that way.
Love it, love it. But anyway, yeah. When I started my emergency fund, the plan was like, yeah, like maybe in 10 years, this like might put me in a good spot financially, because I plan hopefully for the long term. And when about excuse me, when about like a third of the way to half of the way of that 10-year kind of goal, like I'm looking at a sizable portfolio, even though you're witnessing and you're a part of a emotional expression of the market blowing off its top and all this money and liquidity being thrown around, like it's easy to get washed away in drama, right? And it's easy to play into and express yourself during an emotional situation. So the reality of the situation is that I was prepared to lose it all, and I didn't sell the top of the last bull market. And that's because that simply was not part of my plan. I'm not here to get rich, and I want to be a part of something greater. And I do believe that that has to do with my acknowledgement of the power of what the blockchain can do for the individual, beyond just ownership of your own money and being able to share it. You have verifiable ownership of assets, and blending that between the literal world and truly connecting those dots between something on the blockchain and something in real life, that will come with time. But for now, we can do that with digital assets. So let's
Arno,
create.
go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Stephen, we've known each other now, for, I think it's been now 3 years, something like that. We saw the first time at X Day in Paris.
Yeah,
And you
for
have
sure.
a wild journey. So
Mhm.
many learnings to share on many topics, and we can't cover them, in the next half hour. But I want to get you to touch base on this investment journey you've been in, because I believe this is interesting for people here. Um, with GRM, we were talking about the fact that this industry and the fact that it's merging itself with attention economy through X has transformed itself into this narrative seeker, short-term scheme to make money, more
Mhm.
than as you
Mm.
what you invested in the beginning, saying, okay, this is long term. I'm aiming for 10 years down the road. And actually, there was so much noise that it sounds like you were caught up, and this disrupted your plan. You were a tech believer, you invested for long term, and it sidetracked you a bit. Can you talk about this? And can you please, if you're willing to, talk about the hard lessons and the hardship that you went through, because you went through a lot.
Yeah. Damn, it's so hard for me to like receive a wall of a question like that and know how to respond. Um, Man, I mean, because like really the internet and my personality on X to me is not who I am, and I can't prove that to people. That's okay. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I don't have to prove myself. So what you, Arno, know about me, what anybody knows about me is only what I first share, and whether or not those people take the time to invest fully in everything that I've published. And that's not something that I expect of anybody. So truth be told, like it's all having to do with the lessons that I learned of really just getting too close to a high energy community and understanding hard lessons about people and how they react, including myself, when we experience financial loss. When we expected things to go up and they went down. But man, I mean, like, what
Maybe
hardest
to
lessons?
focus, maybe let's speak about your NFT investments, because it was the start of the disruption of your previous
Ooh,
plan.
right. See, that's
And after,
yeah,
it will be
disruption.
maybe the best way to speak about the hard lessons Arno were talking about, if you agree, Arno.
Yeah, no, that's the exact part of the question that I wanted to address. Thanks, GRM. Yeah, well, let me ask you too. I mean, clearly you guys might be multitasking over there. I don't expect you to be taking notes or anything, but has my plan become disrupted? My 10-year plan, my emergency fund to support myself, like, is it working or not?
It's a good question. I mean, we all got sidetracked most likely because the space is like the blockchain industry was this, and each
Mhm.
year it increases. You have numbers. Each year it almost doubles. Now, in the first year it was multiples, but from the start to now, if you get into a lean, I think it increases over 60% every year. So,
Okay.
I mean, we get sidetracked unless you just bury your wallet and just don't get close to it. So, yeah, of course, we all get sidetracked a bit.
I made some slip ups for sure, but some of those slip ups are in the same exact manner of like, oh, I bought the top of the 2017 bull market, but like, fast forward years and that's still worth money. Whenever it's in the bear market, it's easy to feel like, oh, what if it really never does go up? And
Yeah.
so
The
from
thing
my
is,
perspective,
you planned you planned to buy and to accumulate more and more worthy tokens, cryptocurrencies. And at the time, you decided to invest a lot of money. I don't know if it was a lot for you, but it was a lot for a lot of people
Okay, yeah.
in NFTs. So the thing is, on Multiverse at this moment, there were only NFTs. There were no DeFi, there were nothing
Shit was
except
lit,
NFTs.
bro.
Yeah, I was there. So, can you
Um,
explain why and how, and yeah, explain this NFT journey, and after we'll go through the hard lessons because you spent bad moments after this, as I remember.
um, sorry, I got sidetracked. Like I noticed I could read the some of the comments there. Could you repeat the question? I apologize.
Yeah, just can you just remind us when you decided to invest a large amount of EGLD in NFT
Mm,
collections?
yeah.
Meanwhile, your plans was initially to buy tokens for the next 10 years, so you decided
Mm,
to.
mm, sorry to interrupt you, but no, my plan was actually, this is really good insight, and it speaks to Arno's question about important lessons that I learned, right? My plan was not to buy for the next 10 years. My plan was, all details aside, in 10 years, I think my portfolio will be in a good spot. And what I learned, so I want to also say, yes, you guys are right. Two things did, in fact, disrupt many things. I overinvested in NFTs, but also the launch of MyR Exchange. My involvement in DeFi is where my portfolio turned into a much different concept. And I still saw it really, as just a dollar sign. Like, this is how much my portfolio is worth. I don't need to get lost in the details of how it's worth that amount. And over investing in the launch of MyRDex, getting overly invested in my return on investment in MEX, locked MEX, all of these mechanisms that for me weren't a part of my original plan, which was buy and hold. I did not buy and hold. I bought, I held, and then Elrond came along, and I was on the waiting list, and I got eagled, for being on this waiting list for staking. Valid, this is pre-mainnet, I believe, and I was a legacy staking on Elrond, and then it moved, mainnet launched, and then I'm making reliable inflation rewards from my staked eagled, which was in the multiple of thousands. And all of that was accumulated like in bear markets. So I went from, in my first bull run in 2017, I moved a four-figure portfolio to a six-figure portfolio. The following, was 6 to 7. And it's just like, well, okay, like, it's gonna go down big, but the objective is to maintain focus. So those disruptors came along and did in fact distract me, but
But
it
let's speak
was,
about the NFTs. Why did you
yeah,
buy
let's
that
talk about the
many?
NFTs.
Yeah, because it's interesting because we all
Dude,
knew
it's
about you
art and
with
community.
the biggest sales of the wolves, the drifters, and so on. So why did you buy these NFTs? Was it to show off on
Dude.
Twitter because you wanted to be someone, and it was important to have a worthy, a wealthy PFP? Was it to the and after, tell us about when you like burn out, we can say.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely chased clout buying NFTs in the MultiversX community. I guess back then it was Elrond Network. But yeah, it was just like a really unique experience. Like, okay, I can buy some NFTs and like it creates noise on Twitter. And that was an interesting mechanism. And at the time, there were dollar amounts associated with the eagle that I was spending, but I was sitting on thousands of eagled. And I could have, so I literally in my head, and I mean, I don't know if I'm sure I posted about this, but I took profits into NFTs. I took eagled profits, looking at the dollar value of it along the way, understanding the underlying value of those eagles. It was like, okie dokie, like that's a lot. It was too much. It completely sidetracked me from in real life maintaining a desire to work. I had far too many resources in the monetary terms, and I took I made decisions in life that I for surely like wouldn't have done it if I did not have that financial backing of my emergency fund, right? Because I got to a place where I had other passions and pursuits that I wanted to spend more time being music and other art forms. At the time working for Tesla, going to work, feeling like I didn't like the corporate structure, feeling like I didn't like where it was, knowing that this morning my staking from Elrond like put X amount of dollars in my pocket to the point where it's becoming competitive with how much I know that my minimum like including taxes was earning me for that day. So it empowered me. And what can I say?
This is brilliant. I mean, there's so much investor alpha to take away. I mean, of course, it's hard lessons, but actually, you struck gold, and some investors don't struck gold in their lifetime. You struck gold, and you clearly weren't prepared to find that much gold, because you completely lost your way, and you started buying digital Ferraris. Those were the drifters, the apes, the wolves, and they gave you status. I mean, when you were pulling off those buys, I mean, you were in our own Elrond bubble on X. You were the Chad. I mean, it was like, whoa, the guy is pulling big moves, and it was, I mean, yeah. And so it completely, and I mean, I was also fortunate to be in that bull run. And of course, I mean, it's the first time in your life that you see if you struck gold, and that by that time I was big in Ether. I mean, it's insane. You make, sometimes you make money in 1 or 2 days that you don't make in 1 month working. Sometimes multiple times this, when things go completely bonkers. And so you're not prepared. Your brain is not prepared because it's the first time you've been through that kind of shit. And so it fucks you up. And in the end, you start believing that you can strike gold multiple times now because you've done it once. So, and I've been the same as you on a smaller scale with NFTs, with also other investments. And you get, I mean, reality hits you in a very hard way. It brings you down to earth. Like the elevator, like the cable is cut and you just, and this can, I mean, it can fuck you up. Yeah. So we all got sidetracked most likely. Jared,
we got
bring this back.
No. It's an interesting thing. I was involved in NFTs also at this moment. I still own 1,400 NFTs in my X portal. Most of them are just went to zero. But I personally, I never felt like because the money I was spending was something I did not need. And to be honest, I won more than I lost. I lost in money, of course, but I won so much more with my job as an advisor, as a content creator. I won more with the community that I created, with the different builders I met, the moment I spent, and all the things that I learned. All of these were, for me at least, so much more valuable than the EGLD that I lost. So maybe that's why, even if I spent thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in NFTs, and I did not fall like you.
Mhm.
So that just to speak about me for a second, because we did almost the same mistakes, you and me. So let's go back to you. How did you live these bad moments? Uh, uh, does the community, does your family, does the builders, does anyone help you, to pull yourself together and to feel better at this moment when you felt bad?
Hmm. Um, these are interesting questions because, again, like, have you guys been following me in my life? And like, no, it's only what I've been posting on X. Because in life, I had sidetracked moments for sure. But yeah, I mean, like,
So
my question.
it was not just about money. It was not just about losses. It was also personal things. You say.
Um, I think I'm struggling to understand, because yeah, I mean, like, my family, like I don't think that from the outside I changed, but I don't know. You know, nobody has told me. I mean, I've just been living my life. Um, I pull out my phone and I tweet, and I've taken breaks, and I've tried to reorient. But at the end of the day, um, yeah, I mean, I paid for an experience through the investment of NFTs and such as those things. But the whole mission has been to find a job, a career for myself, and that's what I'm aiming to do here in the city, is find ways to really give back to the local community and the artists here by creating a music recording studio. And
We'll
it's
finish by
been.
that. I really want to speak with you about your musician career. We will discover, because to be honest, I
Mhm.
discovered it by interesting to you. But first of
Yeah,
all, we still have 13 minutes. So let's speak for 5 or 6 minutes about MultiversX now.
sure.
You know, the title of the show today is Love or Hate. Well, it's just
Mm.
something to attract people. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Can you explain us? You told us what you liked, what you loved on MultiversX,
Mhm.
and at the moment you looked like a haters to someone's mind. And you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what? I will not criticize you for that. But can you explain maybe what was the moment when you maybe changed your mind or you evolve about your vision of MultiversX? So take your
yeah,
time to answer, and after we'll speak about the current situation of MultiversX. But first, let's speak about the pivot, the moment.
yeah. Dude, I mean, it just sucks because there's just a reality to the answer to that question that says a lot. And my opinion of the team changed when I went to consensus in 2023 in Austin, Texas, and I spent time with the team. And at that point, I was a lover. There was no question about it. And I heard things, and I learned more about what I believed about the team, and where their interests were. And from that point, I started to push into job opportunities, working with them, um, under the hope that I had shown enough initiative. But at the end of the day, like, it wasn't a good fit. I mean, knowing myself, knowing my Wild West mentality, like, I knew that it wasn't going to be a good fit for me to ever be able to be on the team. But which came first? Because, like, at some point I did apply to a job on their website. Um, I spoke to Benjamin. Dude, I was so present. Like I was present like crazy during that consensus. Like I have a shit ton of memorabilia. It's a tough word to say. From that trip, like I have like untold stories, my own full shard podcast of like random stories. And like, so here's the deal. Like when I moved to California, I really hurt my parents. Like they were like, dude, why did you do this? But then like my parents learned that like, all right, Steven is just like doing that. He just is doing his thing. He's okay. We're all good. But I created my own space and distance with my family so that I could discover a new, loving, beautiful relationship, because our early years from ages, 0 to 18 up through early 20s, like to me say a great deal about just growing pains. So get yourself out of your environment, create some space to come back and find the happy spot. So that metaphor could be copy and pasted in a way between myself, my involvement and engagement with the team as well as the community, was experiencing this intense, highly uncontrollably feeling of, oh, I'm really in this, and I'm being tossed about by the waves, and I'm buying NFTs like crazy. And like it does, like I am up late at night like scrolling through drifters NFTs, like trying to buy that one that's like looking so fucking fresh. But like, so there is something valid about that. Like, dude, there's something real, kind of crazy but real, that like I personally experienced, like buying NFTs. Like I think we all experience it. Like there is something there and we know it, and it's the bear market type shit, but like bro, like shit has not changed. That said, getting back on track, like yeah, just I got way too involved in the team, and I just had a gradual shift of mentality. My OG friend Alec, he did originally podcast Elrond. He was the co-host of my OG podcast. With him, we did podcast Elrond for like a year, and then we went through the rebrand a year later and changed to Multiverse Experience podcast. And shortly after that rebrand, like I love Alec. He's a friend of mine to this day. I just saw him last month. But like he quit the podcast. He's like, dude, I can't do this. And I lost my only teammate. Like all love to Alec, but like he was my only teammate. He was the only person who was not this internet person just reading what I'm typing. Like he knows that in real life I'm a real one. And that podcast was also an opportunity for me to talk about these things and like share more about myself. And I lost my only teammate, and that was actually, no one knew about that, because I'm not trying to like talk shit on Alec. He's my friend, and that's how life be. He's about to have a fucking baby right now, so like shout out to him. But it was like I lost my only teammate. Like it was hard for me too. Like the bear market happened, and you can go back. All these episodes are still online. Like it was just like, yeah, like our portfolios are bleeding heavily again, and MyRDex just got hacked. We're fucked. Like dude, like, but I had a friend who was there with me going through that podcast, and like I lost that way to kind of connect with a broader audience. And perhaps I was, in hindsight, like perhaps I was not using, but perhaps that's something that Alec allowed me to do, was connect with the everyday investor who just got fucked majorly. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We often say that haters are often disappointed lovers. So it's
I like that.
it's interesting. Let's speak about the current situation of
7 minutes left.
MultiversX. Yeah, that's why. The current situation of MultiversX.
Dude,
I
bullish,
think
bro.
that. Sorry.
Said fucking bullish, bro. Shit has not changed.
It's the
But like
bullish time.
for the best. Like, are you kidding
No,
me? Like, it's
just to
stupid.
focus, I think you
Yeah,
listened
yeah,
to
yeah.
the last town hall, the hiring of the new CMO. So
Mhm.
how do you see this last event? And yeah, can you just tell us your feeling about MultiversX at the moment? And we will finish by the music thing. I really want to know more about this.
Cool. No, I mean, it's great. As CMO, like, straight up, like, I forgot that role wasn't filled within Multiverse X. And also, I think it's addressed in either the podcast or maybe it was the town hall. But just the idea of like, there are titles to these people in charge and stuff, but like, they're just dudes. And what was the question? Oh, right. It's bullish. Like, it's great. Like, it's the best. And this is what, this is what else stood out to me. The number two thing beyond communication was like, dude, like, Elrond Network was badass. Like, they figured the shit out. Drop the mic. So I
Okay.
realized that in 2019, like, I learned about Bitcoin, saw Ethereum's flaws. I was looking for the right one. I found the right tech with the right communicating voice behind it. And it's only like, it's just improved like crazy. And it's really spectacular. So hats off to the team, and shout out to Adam Bates. Having a voice with like a credible Adam Bates X involved in Cardano, ADA, whatever you want to call it. Dude, I mean, it's like a clearly positive, like, bullish indicator for Multiverse X. Like, all of this restructuring, like, the team, I don't believe, is in the middle of this. Like, I think all of the most difficult conversations are well behind us, to the point that they shared about these things in the town hall. They already have the next town hall scheduled. That is a Multiverse X Elrond Network first. And there's just so much I could say. We've got 5 minutes left.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Stefan, for this. So let's speak about your music. So tell us about it. What is it, and what will it be? And
Mhm.
will it be related to MultiverseX in any way? So tell us, make us discover this new thing you bring on Twitter, and that you're being creating at the moment.
Sure. Yeah. So like, while all this crypto drama is going on in one side of my life, like, in real life, I've been developing as a recording artist and musician in the Bay, and I knew that I wanted to wait for the right opportunity to share my music, and in the meantime, just increasing my craft, learning more instruments. I play piano, guitar, bass, drum set, and like other stuff. But I want to write songs. I've been writing songs, and over the summer, like, I just told myself, like, just cut out social media. I wasn't on Twitter at this time, or X. Like, my account was completely deactivated, I believe. So I spent 2 weeks recording a 7 minute, 30-second EP. That's short for extended play. And it's just 7 minutes of about, I call them, there's two songs within it, but it's a bit of just a movement. It's a representation, as the NFT, the data NFT is on Ethereum right now, which, dude, it's just up there to be up there. Like, I haven't, like, the barriers of entry to get it is so much to explain. It's actually a meme. Like, it's actually a joke. Like, I went to an open mic after I put it on the blockchain, and it was like, dude, like, we need a session of sit down for people to understand. And that's the point. It's like, I'm just gonna put it out there. It is on Spotify under 2 week, TWOWEEK. If you just type in Spotify or Apple Music, like, 2 week twice, like, all one word, underscore, like, that'll be the EP.
Send
Like,
me
that'll
send me on DM, and I will share it on the
cool.
description of the video and on the chat, so people can
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what will be the main inspiration of the music, and what kind of message do you want to share with
Hmm.
the next listeners?
Yeah, no, it's a musical journey, like, for sure. Like, to me, just by nature of how I learned these instruments and discovered how to write songs, to me, the EP, as well as all of the following music that will come out, will be a movement of understanding how to really play guitar and make songs. Like the song begins with a song that only has two chords, E minor and G major. Like the rest of it is just like increasing your dexterity and ability and knowledge of to move up and down the fretboard of the guitar. But the idea is just like that music is approachable. I want an excuse to make these beautiful sounds, and I love to sing. Like that's something like people don't know. Like I love to sing. Like, and what's even on this EP, like I know that I can do better. Like I have witnessed myself do better. And I'm just looking forward to capturing these songs and continuing to perfect my craft and become better. But it's all really just excuses to express and to find ways for sounds to create. And we put words to them and there are stories, but yeah, the hope is to tell a story and leave it open at times, but sometimes I do want to say things and I'm not quite sure what that is yet.
And are you going to merge music and blockchain at some point? Do you like not just of course you are already doing it with the story that you're telling from what I just heard, but are you interested to change things in the music industry thanks to this technology? Are you trying
Absolutely.
to, yeah, okay, so that's my point.
Yeah,
Jeremy, do we have a few minutes to
Yeah, because Dan is not replying for the moment, so until he comes, we can continue with a
brilliant.
very, very
Yeah.
quick pleasure.
That's very interesting conversation to have. Now you have some experience about this technology. What are you looking to solve within the music industry through blockchain?
Dude, yeah, I mean, so that feeling and the fun of like just a JPEG is cool, but like, please, like, not just you speaking to just whoever's watching, like, do your research and understand the music industry and understanding the power that blockchain and ownership of somebody's assets, like, it's two-sided and it's too much to talk about right now. But the thing is that, like, I have decided as an artist by putting my music on the blockchain, it's worth money. It's worth my time. I've invested my life to this craft, but the music industry has somehow tricked the world into, no, you give us your music for free and do a good job in real life. But in an internet age where streaming services are making millions,
banking, music industry, thing. Like, you work, you earn money, this money goes into a bank that has nothing, and then they make this money work and you don't get a dime. So, this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so it's literally crazy. And like people, musicians and other producers around me, like I've seen them become physically frustrated at knowing how much time, effort, energy, resources they put into a song. Like those are lives and abilities, and they tell such crazy stories. And this dude was getting physically upset because he was like, dude, I know how much money I put into this. And he just threw it up on Spotify for nothing. And it's like, dude, you're a genuine artist and you deserve for a audience to pay you to access what you're putting out there. And I don't know how, dude, because it's just so early in the cycle of this emerging tech that, dude, I'm the #2 most sold data NFT on Ethereum's platform. Is just like, it's funny to me. And I want to get to #1 just because, like, if the wave that is coming, which I expect it to, as long as the bear market. So here's the deal, is like, as long as the bear market does not literally consume all the resources, which kills teams, no resource means we can't pay our people, means this team is dead. Token's dead. It's a rug. Anyway, if the market is supported by a growing economy truly underneath it, supporting all this, all this data, Ethereum, dude, Ethereum is crazy. Like, I interviewed Mark Paul and I did a lot of studying and preparing for that interview. and I got in their heads and understood the potential, and it was just like, dude, like this is super cool. Like I don't care what the price of Ethereum is. Like what they've built is really cool, and it's only going to get better. So as long as all of this continues to improve, like I'm sure that my hope is like, dude, there's no way. Yeah, go ahead.
What you're saying here is super powerful, because we can see how technology can change the world, change our lives, but also once it does, it technology, internet technology, creates powerful network effects that then are very hard to compete with.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the music industry, I don't know if you've and especially in the audience, if you haven't seen the Spotify series, go look at it, because what Stephen is talking about now. How can we compete with Spotify's network effect? Spotify was doing the same thing, trying to disrupt the music industry, early days network effect through the record companies. At that point, they had all the power, and so now through the technology, through the disruptive technology that Spotify, created, you have this other now cycle. And the truth is, blockchain is a technology that can massively disrupt the Spotify model. But same as Spotify fought to gain the market, blockchain technology will have to fight in the music industry, in the back industry. Yeah, uphill battle. But man, this is life. This is about technology. It's about competing against
pioneers, bro.
Yeah, but with Ethereum, you have a sword that is 10 times the size as Spotify.
Bro, I don't
but
give
they're
a shit about
uphill.
Ethereum. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking?
Ethereum.
Oh, Ethereum. I thought you said Ethereum. I was like, what the
No.
hell are you talking about Ethereum for?
No,
All right,
Ethereum.
yeah. No, it's awesome, dude. And dude, like
Paul from Ethereum just posted something on X. I don't know if you saw it, and he said, when we launch a Web3 project, you need to be aware that you will have to leave 2 bear markets at least. So it's interesting, the vision he has, definitely. Sorry to interrupt.
He's a cool guy.
Very
I mean,
cool.
I saw his keynote at X Day #2, and I approached him and asked for the interview in person. And I told him that I was a musician. And so this is all like, here's the deal. You guys earlier were asking me about like this downfall that I had and all the lessons that I learned. And I made mistakes in my professionalism and my tact. And there's a lot more I can say about that. But I was doing my best to maintain my own momentum, like keep on pushing. What's up?
Just to inform you about something. Okay, there was a problem with our second guest because of a time zone. Actually, he won't be able to make it today.
No, dude.
Yeah, but it will be just postponed
more
to
Steven.
the next show.
Woo!
So we can have more Steven if you want, guys. So no time limit now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up until the X Exchange space with Kimura at 7 a.m. my time.
Okay.
GM all morning, dude. Yeah, let's just start a meme coin right now. Us three, like, grassroots this shit. Like, if you're live right here, right now, like, let's just make waves. Come on, my European brothers, help an American out. Give me a share of what you get that European gold you have over there.
Yeah, sure. We can send you taxes if you want. That's what we have.
I'll take it all. I'll take it all. You can tax it too. Write it off. Do what you need to.
All right, sending you taxes. I can't send you taxes through blockchain yet, but trust me, it's so powerful. They will get there.
Oh wow! Somebody snipped that video and just make a meme out of it. Something about blockchain and catchphrases.
So yeah,
so maybe so I'll let you continue. If not, I have just one last question. But go ahead, continue with Interesting.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I just want to express my bullishness on the world of blockchain and what Web3 is coming, what is emerging, and what is going to catch on, right? It's all a matter of how it's presented to the audience.
But
And
it's especially talking to music. The question was, so how do you take blockchain to disrupt, to ease, to solve pains? And so you were pretty, self-explanatory with this, with the Ethereum platform. You put, creating music takes time, takes, maturing your craft. It takes years. It's basically your life. So when you're putting it on Spotify, you own nothing. So your first statement is to put it on Ethereum, because then when your music is there, it's yours. You monetize it your way, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Do you have so are you taking this? This is super powerful. Are you taking this to other artists?
It's really cool. That's the plan. And it's like tricky because like I do believe that other cryptocurrency and marketing ideas have used a similar strategy, but especially I think like X Money, aka Utrust back then, it was like their blog post said something about like the faster we grow, like, kind of network effect is what they were hinting at. So my goal is like, yeah, cool. Like buy my NFT. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with Ethereum. Like I will probably just like add it to my staked Ethereum on the platform that helps with what's called liveliness staking. And that has to do with what you have staked, and it'll give credibility to people selling their data on Ethereum's platform. But yeah, I want to create a network effect, and I have to try. Like if somebody, like there are other people out there, other musicians, artists doing it in their own way. But straight up, it's just like, hell yeah, like my music is on Ethereum. Like that's so random. But here's the fun thing is it's on Spotify, if people want to find it, they can. But what I plan to do with the NFT is I will add, these NFTs, these data NFTs are just access points. They are literal gates to data. And I gated my song. If you have the key, you get access. It's not just a static NFT with 7 minutes and some change of my music. I will continue to add pieces of music to that initial NFT, which of course will serve as a way for me to do airdrops, share free art. I'm trying to figure out how to gamify it in a authentic way.
So Stephen, because I've never actually used Ethereum that way. So if I want to go listen to your music, I can go on Ethereum and I can listen to your music. Like, what's the, this is okay.
No, dude. Like I said, it's a bit of a meme. It's like, for some reason, I feel like my early iPod Touch days, like some just like horrible music players, and you're just like, dude, like, why does this have to be so difficult? The steps to listening to my song through Ethereum, like, dude, it's a whole process. Like, you have to listen to it on NFTunes. Like, that's.
And who built NFTunes?
Ethereum.
But it sounds like Ethereum is infrastructure. Sounds like a company focusing on data NFTs from musicians with the correct UI UX, front end built upon this infrastructure would make sense. Correct?
So they just need to improve the UI UX between.
Is it their job in the end? It's like saying, okay,
good question.
Atom is building a lending on Atom. We have a lending and borrowing protocol.
What's Atom?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
No, but the question is, do we have to be building the company on top of Atom, targeting wealth management funds that will then put their money in the lending and borrowing platform? No. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to build upon the Atom infrastructure, you can do that. I mean, from what I hear, Ethereum shouldn't be focusing on building all the use cases above. They built an incredibly exciting infrastructure that would allow entrepreneurs to build upon.
It's like
Right.
multiverses. It
Yeah,
would
But
have
it's
been better.
any data. It's all
But if
data.
you don't have,
What?
go ahead, Esther. No, I was just making an analogy with MultiversX, which is building the products themselves. Meanwhile, other ecosystem let other builders and finance other builders
Dude.
to build on it. So
It-
Ethereum is doing the same, maybe.
it's all about building the incentive model so that if you build an infrastructure, people have an incentive to come build on top of you to solve a problem that you are not solving directly, but that your infrastructure enables solving. So
Dude, it's a huge
You need
positive
fund to
enabler.
attract them. You need
it
fund. You need
depends.
marketing.
It depends.
You need
It depends.
communication.
You have many
Business.
ways to build. You have many ways to build in correct incentive models. It's not just pouring money. Of course,
I
money
don't know. Were you
helps.
talking over GRM?
Yeah.
It happens sometimes. I let him
Yeah.
do that.
Just
When I
clarifying.
have high conviction on some topics, I can become like I will stomp
Hey,
you.
at least you know yourself. I still think we need to have X boxing. Like, step into the ring. You got drama. You want to say something? Step into the ring. Like, no, I'm not talking about you guys, but I would fight you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's all love. It's all love. Bad joke.
You know what? You are can you tell us what are the next steps for Stephen? Because you know what, everybody's saying Stefan because it's Stephen actually, and I know that you always you attack Lucas for this. I think as I remember because he
For
mispronounced your
sure,
name.
Adam.
It's
Lucas?
Adam. I think
No,
it was
I
Lucas.
think
No.
Lucas is no. Maybe Lucas was trolling me, but Lucas knows my name is Steven.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a meme.
That would make sense.
Everything is a meme. So what's your next steps, Steven? Because
Okay.
I saw that you still have your YouTube channel, and I put it on the description of the video. It's MVX podcast, I think it is. Yes.
I can't remember. It's been too long. Not gonna lie.
Oh, because you completely gave up this
No,
part,
never give up.
or you will come back because a few months ago you invited me for an
Yeah.
interview, and I'm
Dude,
still waiting for it.
That was like we started talking about that in December of last year.
Yeah,
dude.
definitely. And you told me, you know what, we'll do it early next year, okay?
Yeah.
And actually, things happened, but just more seriously. Do you plan to come back again in the YouTube game, or will you focus on the music part and the Max to One thing?
Dude, Max to
What's your
One
next
is
step?
out, bro. Max to One is out, bro. It is Max to 2.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We are firing on that. But the next steps for me, see, the whole bear market for me was a huge calibration time. Like I said, I apologize now to the team and to other community members that I've offended. I have strong beliefs, and I have always just seen myself as a dude on the internet sharing his shit. And I struck gold, as Arno said, and I threw around egld buying NFTs, and it was fun. But at the end of the day, I want to be a normal dude, straight up. Like, I want to be a normal dude. Like, when I struck egld, it was like, damn, like, I don't want to be this person. Like, I don't want to be this person. It made me feel disconnected from everyone. And this answers your question from a long time ago about the lessons that I learned. Experiencing
Feels like we're reliving Bruce Wayne's journey in the first Batman movie, you know.
Perhaps,
like,
yeah, there's a whole arc here.
Maybe you are going to you're like a phoenix. This is your rebirth, you know. You've been turned to ashes, and now.
Sure, but the restructuring is just to create a more sustainable environment. And in a bull market where money was flowing and people were feeling good, like sure, like maybe Alec, my old partner, would have continued. We would have made something more out of it. But yeah, dude, like I mean, I got to a point where I was like, I'm spending my time doing all these things and I'm doing myself a disservice by not monetizing it. This is my time. This is not absolutely not worth no money. Like, and I was living in an environment where I was basically promoting MultiversX for free, spending a lot of time promoting, positively speaking about Elrond Network, MultiversX for free. And I'm just to the point where
Actually,
yeah.
you weren't doing it for free because there is an incentive model, and you
Meaning?
were meaning that you are economically aligned with the success of MultiversX through the egld
Yes.
token.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so this is why what I'm talking about, powerful incentive models. If MultiversX wins, egld rises, you win, and this is the beauty of blockchain. We are in a period of time where those incentive models are, artificially sustained. Very few blockchains have actually a business and a growth engine to sustain organically this incentive model. But it is one of the recipes to make blockchain, get adopted, is that people are economically incentivized to take part, to take action, to promote. And that's what you did brilliantly, by the way.
Last take, Stephen.
Right. Yeah. Last take means wrap it up because I do have to get going.
So no, last take. So final word. Tell us your feeling. Answer or no. Take your time, but after we'll close the show.
For sure. Well, thanks to you guys. Shout out GM Web3 podcast. And what is there to say? Like, stay positive. Like, I spent time and money investing in myself during the bear market, and I thank the team for giving me that, financial ability to do that. My hope is to, be a light of adoption. And I think that using music and data NFTs will be a platform for me to have a reason to share how to interact with this new technology. So that's really what you can expect from me in the future, is me trying to figure out how to communicate those things, and just keep it pushing. That's what I got to say.
I want to propose you something, Stefan. Last thing.
Sure.
Steven, sorry.
Thanks, Arno.
Trolling.
Man, bro.
Can you send me the one of your music?
Mm-hmm. Dude,
you
you gotta go buy the data NFT, bro. Listen to it on NFT.
No, you will listen to me. You will offer me, okay, and I will use it as a soundtrack for GM Web3 for the waiting times.
Dude, okay, cool. That's great. If you watch some old podcast Elrond MultiversX Experience, my YouTube channel, like I've used my songs as intros and outros at times, just little snippets. But yeah, guys, I do have to get going. Gotta go. Gotta rush. It's about 3 a.m. here.
Steven, just one thing before you go, because I think it's important. Just first of all, thank you for coming.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you for unpacking pain and learnings, because I think it's very valuable. And I'm also excited to see that it's 3 a.m. and you're still energized about all this. It takes a lot, to stand up after all you've been through. And I think that your good days are ahead of you, because you've learned so much, and now you're stronger. So keep pushing, bro. You're not alone in this little MultiversX ecosystem. Of course, we can see it as we're down big, but actually we have a few guys like you that have been through the whole thing, the whole journey, and took it as a learning opportunity. And I think that we're stronger human-wise with this.
Yeah.
And those people can help a lot in the next cycle of adoption of this technology. So keep pushing. Much love, and thanks for coming this morning.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Stefan. See you later.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Salute.
Thank you, Arno, too, for being there with me this morning. It was very interesting. Sorry to everyone about Dan Hughes' postponement of the interview. It will happen in November. Just to inform you, there will not be GM Web3 MultiversX for the next 2 weeks. So the next show is on November 13th. So Arno, you'll be able to to do something else on Wednesday in the morning for the next 2 weeks.
Well, actually, next Wednesday, it's X Day. So
do you want to host? No, I think you will be fucking busy.
So I don't know if you saw, but the program of X Day shows that at the exact time
you'll will be on main stage speaking.
I will be with Robert Sassu, talking about real world assets. So
no, it's great, and I we will speak about X Day when we come back. And congratulations for this. I'm sure you will be brilliant. Speaking about what will be the topic of the table that you will be part of it. It will be DeFi.
No, it's actually, so I will always try through the questions to bring Hatom's perspective, because it's Hatom's voice that I'm bringing in this roundtable. But the question is the adoption and rise of real world assets on chains.
Okay.
And the topic is a bit cryptic, because I don't know if they want to talk about chains being built for real world assets, as a side chain specifically for this, or real world assets on chains. So I'm trying to get a bit more information about this, but I would be prepared for both. So
yeah, the title is The Rise of RWA Chains.
Yes.
For communities and companies.
Yes.
So maybe it will be through sovereign chain dedicated to RWA or something like that.
It would make sense.
You'll see, and I'm sure it will be very valuable. Thank you very much, Arno. Thank you very much to everyone that watched us this morning. I remind you that you can find the replay of the show on YouTube, on X, on Twitch, but also on podcast platforms in a few minutes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and to like and to comment and to rate our show. And I would like also, it's very important for us to thank our last sponsor of the day. It's eApes, one of the OG NFT project. We were speaking about NFTs with Stefan, and so they are supporting us this morning, and thank you very much for them. I will put the link on the comment section, and they are offering $25 in their token, the eApes token. So feel free to deep dive in the project, what they are proposing, what they are building at the moment. And OG projects need support, especially after what we've been through on the NFT ecosystem on MultiversX. Not many projects are still alive, and they are alive. So shout out to them, and thank you very much to eApes for their support. Arno, again, thank you very much. Have a very good day. We meet today normally in real life.
Yes, we do. Later this afternoon.
Yes, I can't wait. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye.
Take care, brother.